You know what old school jam is stuck in my head?
What's that?
Twisted by Keith Sweat.
What you been doing this weekend, man?
I told you, man, I'm on a mental high since Tuesday.
Yeah, congrats on the new apartment, man. That's awesome.
House.
Here we go.
It's rental.
Excuse me.
Bucka. You know the deal. This is me, though. Beats by Supreme.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Can We Talk? We got the usual suspects here with an addition, a new face. So we got Shane and Anthony. What's going on, y'all?
Hey, what's going on?
Up?
And we're also here with Kenya Abbott. Kenya, what's happening?
Nothing much. I'm glad to be here.
Good. I'm glad to have you. Tell us a little bit about yourself, because this is your first time on the show. So tell us about yourself, what you do.
Kenya Abbott Jr. Is what I go by. I do Politicking, which is a talk show. I have a YouTube channel. You can tune in to politicking.org. That's POLITICKEN. A lot of people spell that wrong. Leave the C out. Keep the K. But yes, Politicking. I also work with young folks. That's really my passion.
Okay.
I'm at United Way for Southeastern Michigan, currently working as a career specialist. But I just like to touch the city and just connect with different people that's moving and shaking.
Awesome.
All about community development, nation building. That's my lane.
Definitely in the right place.
We glad to have you here.
Definitely in the right place.
And we got Damian Mitchell. Damian C. Mitchell, what's going on, Damian?
Not much. Coming from church.
Oh, how was the service today?
Well, they always keep it pretty short. It's like 45 minutes.
That's when you go to that Catholic church. He Catholic, by the way. Huh?
Oh, yeah, they in and out, except for the first Sunday of the month.
Right.
Yeah, I was daydreaming just a little bit, and I almost missed the money passing through.
Oh, you almost missed the
I
times.
blinked and it was gone.
But I'm glad y'all both were able to make it. Y'all, we got a good show today. First off, let's get into the hip-hop corner, because there's a lot of good music that came out. And Shayna, I need you to go ahead and explain this new J. Cole album.
Oh,
Go ahead.
man, the J. Cole dropped on
What about current
420.
events?
Oh, we get to that.
Okay, all right.
The J. Cole dropped on 420. I just want to say happy belated 420 to all of those that celebrate that.
Did you
Hope
allegedly
had
celebrate?
I did not.
That's a good mom right there.
Right.
Happy belated 420. Hope you guys had a safe and prosperous holiday. But I did listen to, and I thought, I love how meticulous J. Cole is. Like, he dropped the album, basically about the drug culture, in hip hop on 420.
Yeah.
Right.
But I really enjoyed this album. The one critique I do have of J. Cole is I wish he would outsource his production more.
I think he's solid. I think he's a solid producer of his own work. That's why I don't like it when Big Crit reaches out. I like it when he's doing his own thing. Give us your thoughts on the album.
I really like the album. I've been listening to it ever since Friday. My favorite song is Kevin's Heart.
Oh, that's mine too. That's crazy.
Mine is
That's-
Brackets.
Yours is
Brackets.
Brackets.
That's my number 2.
My number 2 is 1985.
I feel like that's a nice lesson to the up and coming rappers that are arrogant and stuff like that, and he's trying to show them the way without dissing them.
Yeah, I like the beat. Like, it's very 90s, New York type beat. So yeah, that's my second favorite song on the album. But it flows well. Yeah, I really like the album. I like the concept of the album.
I love the album cover too, because I feel like all meanings of the album are right there. And I just feel like J. Cole, he's chosen his path by now. I feel like with Born Sinner, which I think to this day is still his best album. I think that is me. I think that's his best album to me. I think this one is, with time, it could be the best. But I feel like he's straight up become an introspective artist. Like, he's got rid of the turn-up J. Cole. He's focused on just being introspective. And I think that's cool. I feel like this album gave me, like a Kendrick Damn feel to it. Because I feel like when I listened to Damn, I liked it, but I needed to have it set in a little bit more.
Right.
Because it was everything at once.
That's
and
true.
it was short. This one's pretty short.
See, I haven't gotten to his album yet, man. So I'm listening just off of basically y'all perspectives. But I've heard on Twitter, people talk about it's a really good album. Some people, he's polarizing. Some people like him, some people don't.
He's very slow-paced, deliberately slow-paced, but I like it.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw on Twitter someone called him the Tim Duncan of rap. Like,
Right.
he's just as big as Kendrick and Drake. Like, they play the same venues whenever they go to a city.
Right.
But like, people can't really tell, I guess, that J.
Right.
Cole is just as big because he's not, I guess, everywhere like Kendrick and Drake.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Dude, speaking about Kendrick, this is new heights for hip hop, ain't it? Kendrick won a Pulitzer Prize.
Yes.
For Damn.
Prize for writing,
That's awesome.
Yeah, for Damn.
Although I think though in my mind I would have gave it to him for
To
to
Pimp
Pimp a Butterfly.
Butterfly. That's what I thought too.
Yeah,
but
conceptually that made the most sense, but hey, you got to give him his prize. That's awesome.
I think it's it's just as abstract. I mean, Pimp a Butterfly, it's a great album, but it's really straightforward. Damn is abstract. You can look at it from different ways. You can really play it frontwards and backwards. I feel like that's not a bad award. Like, that's not a bad award to give that album.
Speaking of artists, I know y'all saw Beyonce perform.
Oh yeah.
I didn't see it.
You know what?
Amazing.
I got to give Beyonce her credit. All right, so I'm not a part of the Hive, but I think
I've been
that
recently priced out of the Hive.
I see those hoodies they were selling and stuff for like
Yeah.
$200. But I think she is one of the best artists of our time right now. Just based off of pure energy, performance, skills. Like, she's really good. And I never hated on her. It was just like, all right, it's just Beyonce. I can't really. I mean, she makes good songs, but I don't really care that much. But yeah, she killed that thing.
I got an honest.
Definitely.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, she definitely killed it. Like, it was just an hour. What was it? An hour and 45 minutes. Of just everything.
She sang the Black National Anthem.
Right.
That's amazing.
She had a drum line,
She
a
write
marching
that
band.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I love the band, the marching band
Yes.
theme, and like the take up, because you when you go to a black high school or HBCU, they play popular music in the marching band, so it's like very reminiscent of that. I definitely enjoyed that.
Where was this? What program?
It was on Coachella, but it streamed on
Oh,
YouTube.
Okay. Yeah. I gotta say, objectively, I haven't really been a Beyonce fan, but objectively, I really liked Lemonade. I think that's a great album, man. I think that it didn't really quote unquote convert me, but I thought it was a great album.
Yep, and after that album, man, I put in my mind that Jay-Z will never reach her level. He can't.
That's really
He can't.
debatable. I mean, that's two different genres, man.
Still.
That's two different genres.
No, he within his own right, he's a great artist. He made a bunch of hits, but that mass appeal. She appeals to everyone.
Yeah, they had this debate
Everybody.
on Twitter. Basically, like, when he tours, he does like smaller like arenas, but when she tours, she does stadiums.
Right. So you gotta give her a props, man. And I definitely, commend her. I think she did another performance, the part 2.
Yesterday,
Yeah, I ain't
but
see
that
that one.
wasn't streamed.
Yeah. So she's doing her thing. And you know what? I do want to touch on current events, but a lot of current events is going to touch on what we talking about for our main thing. But I guess everyone who may know, Barbara Bush died. I don't really care, but
Hey, come on, man.
she was 92. She's
old
92.
lady.
It's like it was expected. She's 92 years old. But rest in peace, Barbara Bush. And I was looking at the funeral, and Melania was looking happy. She's sitting next to Obama, smiling, looking like she was actually enjoying life for once. Even though she was at a funeral, she was enjoying life. But it's just been a lot of craziness going on in the world again. I don't know if you saw the Waffle House shooting.
I didn't see any details about it, but I know they were saying like he was not fully clothed.
Yeah,
and
naked guy with
killed 4 people, injured 4 other people.
You're not even safe for the Waffle House. Like, that's
Wow,
ain't that nuts?
Where did
sucks.
that happen at?
This is in Tennessee. It happened last night.
Hey, North Korea finally backed down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was living in a state of anxiety. Like, when Trump first got elected, I really thought Kim Jong-un was coming for our heads because we had an ignorant person in the office. But I'm glad that we got like a verbal statement saying, okay, we'll back off.
I mean, can you really trust that though?
Listen, man, it's a start. Okay, I don't know.
I mean, coming from our resident politician over here, what do you think?
You like the person that when Michigan has good weather, it ain't gonna last.
I mean, you always gotta have that sense of like the skepticism, because anytime you're doing foreign relations, man, people are, especially leaders like him, they're gonna change it to
We
win.
also just had an ice storm in April, so
Right.
Anything possible.
Anything is possible. Damien, what you think on that news, man? Because I know you're the politician over here. You ready to run for office again?
Well, I don't think we should trust him. And I don't know what kind of ploy it is,
Right.
but I don't have confidence he's just gonna make a deal that's not gonna be in his favor.
I don't know.
Of course not.
I don't think so.
But I don't think he's crazy enough to bomb us. I think he's crazy enough to think he wants to, if that makes sense.
Now, what I'm thinking is those sanctions, man. They got hit hard with those sanctions, and I think it's finally hitting them. They need they just need the resources right now, so they're making those deals.
Yeah.
And I really don't blame them. But I mean, in regards to other news that's going on, the world is still crazy. So I'm gonna leave it at that. So Anthony, let's get into your 2 cents.
2 cents, man. 2 cents. All right, sure. So I recently saw 2 movies. Late review. We didn't talk about this because we had the little power outage or whatever. But I saw Isle of Dogs, and that reminded me of my dog. Rest in peace. But that was a pretty good animation film, good for adults and children. But I saw 2 movies. You Were Never Really Here, and Traffic. Okay, so I'll get the independent one out the way. You Were Never Really Here has Joaquin Phoenix. This dude's one of my favorite actors, man. If he really gets the light to play the Joker, I'm going to be excited. I think this man knows intensity. But You Were Never Really Here follows a troubled veteran. He's a hitman, but he only does hit jobs that are, like, morally upright, if that makes sense. Okay. Like, a politician hires him to find his kidnapped daughter who's been kidnapped into this underage sex ring. So, long story short, he rescues her, but then more stuff erupts as it becomes a conspiracy as to why she was kidnapped in the first place. The whole movie is kind of fragmentary. Like, it's very violent, but, like, most of the violence happens off screen. Like, when you see Joaquin running up on somebody with a hammer, it cuts to the person being on the floor dead. Because he lives a fragmentary life. He has, like horrific memories of being in war. You know, his mom got beat up on when he was a kid. It's a fragmentary movie, but it stays with you. I liked it. But let me get into Traffic. So, okay. Omar Epps, Paula Patton.
Oh, shoot.
You know, I feel like over the years, you know, I guess what they call them is urban romance thrillers. We've been falling off, man. You know, I feel like, you know, we started with Obsessed. We transitioned to No Good Deeds. We transitioned to some, you know, Tyler Perry thrillers, and then we had When the Bow Breaks. I feel like Traffic was a breath of fresh air, man. I feel like it was good to see Omar Epps on the big screen again because he's a charismatic lead. Paula Patton's great too. I feel like it was predictable, but it was enjoyable and predictable.
Okay.
I feel like with this film, I'll just summarize it. Omar Epps plays a mechanic. Paula Patton is a journalist that recently got fired. They decided to go on a getaway from this Tyler Perry-like cliche character who's a douche to his wife, played by Lance Alonso, very rich guy in the film, and his wife, his girlfriend, Rosaline Sanchez. They give him the place to stay. Long story short, Omar Epps and Paula Patton run into these people who are they're conducting a trafficking sex ring. So they cross paths violently, and it's all about trying to escape and get this story to Paula Patton's former boss. The film touches on good points. Like I said, it's predictable, but it's enjoyable, you know. And I really came to the conclusion that, like, I'm an intelligent film watcher, man. Yeah. And that might sound a little stuck up, but I'm sitting here with my girl and our mutual friend Benny and his girl, and they're all like, oh my God, and oh my goodness, and I'm like, dog, I knew all that was gonna happen.
Right.
You know, and I'm just sitting there like, man, I've seen this movie 1,000 times, but it's enjoyable. You know,
Okay.
it was worth my money. And I got something else I gotta tie into that ties into our theme for today.
Okay, so what's some movies that's coming up? Oh, Avengers is coming up this week.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. I got to make sure I see that.
Dude, I gotta see that with another person, though. I feel like certain superhero films I can't see by myself because I'm not gonna be as hype.
You need that hype man.
I need a hype man. I do.
Y'all, did y'all see the episode? So this is switching gears a little bit. Y'all see the episode of Atlanta this
was
week?
Great.
I saw.
Oh my God.
I saw a snippet. I did not see the entire.
You need to watch this thing ASAP. Oh my God. I'm telling you, Atlanta though. Atlanta is he does it in such a smart way. You know, throwing in these little sort of
vignettes, like character pieces.
I mean, I'm loving the season way better than the first season. It's a little darker, way darker.
But I like it though.
Man, I don't want to give away too much because Shane ain't see it. But
what movies have y'all seen? Have y'all seen anything?
I'm still on my Black Panther way.
you watched that for the 13th
How many times have you seen it?
I've probably seen it 3.
Okay.
I need to watch it a little bit more. Because my mom is always telling me, like, if you watch it over and over again, you start seeing stuff you didn't see. As far as like where Wakanda is really located, I need to relook at the beginning of the movie, obviously, and see where they flying in to Wakanda.
Right.
That's true.
I did see A Quiet Place.
That was good.
I
Oh,
did
yeah,
see
yeah.
A Quiet
That's very
Place, and I did enjoy it. Was John
Krasinski.
Oh, he did I think he did an excellent job acting and directing.
Yeah. That was a good movie. Again, I think we talked about that last week or
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, but
What?
he did an amazing job.
Yeah. Emily Blunt was great too.
Emily Blunt did an
She
amazing
played
job
a great,
as well.
terrified, pregnant woman. You
Right.
know, like it was real. So what about that Sherlock Gnomes?
I have not seen a Sherlock.
I'm
I'm saying that because she's a mom. You know, her kid goes see the kid movies.
I have not seen Sherlock Gnomes. That's her and her dad thing. They do the movie, so I haven't
okay.
seen that. And he's gonna have to suffer through Rampage because that's what she want to see.
Yeah.
Is that really suffering though? I feel like The Rock, he sells those movies. I wouldn't go see
Oh.
it if he wasn't in it.
I'm not going.
He
to
plays
see
the
that.
same. It's the same character in every movie, man. I can't stand.
But I feel like him and Tom Cruise know how to sell that though. They know how to keep the charisma up.
I don't know. Speaking of Tom Cruise, another Mission Impossible coming out.
Yes, it is.
You know,
I like all of them.
I don't know. I'm just like he's what 45, 50 years old right now. Probably like closer to 50,
He can still
55.
sell it. I think so.
He's out of money.
Yeah,
Needed to make a new movie.
yeah. He needs to go sit down, take a couple of seats, and
Tom
retire.
Cruise broke. What you mean?
He broke.
That's Tom Cruise.
I mean, but still.
He gave all his money to the Church of Scientology.
Well, that's
Yep.
that's your prerogative.
Correct.
Thanks.
So y'all, let's make this transition into our main topic today.
Let's do this, man.
This
This is a running list.
This is a running list. Have y'all been keeping tabs, keeping tracks?
I just got them all in my head.
All right. So the list for today, and this is serious because I was talking to Damien about this yesterday. Like we don't got nowhere to go nowadays. So being a black person in America at this moment, what are the things that you should not do, or that you should avoid,
Or that you can't do.
or that you can't do because of fear for your life?
Things you can't do while
repercussions.
being black.
Everything.
Everything.
Exactly.
Avoid
Like
everything.
short, simple. It's over. And the reason I was thinking about this again, the situations that happened this past week. The guy from the 2 guys in Starbucks, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, how you forget about that?
I didn't forget about it. It's disturbing to think about it.
So the 2 guys in Starbucks, they were literally sitting there for 2 minutes. 2 minutes waiting for their friend to come in. Had the police called on them. Right. So you can't even sit in Starbucks anymore. It was a situation with a guy in the Walmart parking lot who, I don't know what the situation was. I think he was sitting in his parking lot. No, police shot him, killed him. It was another Starbucks situation that happened where the guy went to use the bathroom. He didn't pay. They told him he couldn't go unless he was a paying customer. But then there was a white gentleman who came out the bathroom at the same time who didn't pay, but he was allowed to use the bathroom. Right? And there's one more. There's one more. Am I missing something from this week?
I don't know if this may not count, but there were like 2 black service women. One of them was pregnant, and they were like, kind of verbally assaulted by an older white lady. I guess they had a dispute over a parking spot.
Yeah. And a military veteran was pregnant, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Dude,
It's sad, yeah.
it is sad, and I guess I'll let y'all go first because I had a joke to go with this.
I want to hear this joke now. I mean, you just brought it up.
I mean, my mom, she loves Starbucks.
Yeah.
And she says she had an incident, not an incident, but she walked into Starbucks and she asked the people behind the counter. She says, "Hey, can I use your bathroom?" And they started laughing. They're like, of course you can, ma'am, because they heard about the incident. She says, "Why is that funny?" And then that's when she learned about what happened. She says, "Oh man, no, I wasn't trying to be an a-hole. I was really asking, can I use your bathroom?"
She was like, never mind. But yeah, this is a serious thing. And last night I was in Greek Town with Damien, and we were just sitting on the corner just talking, looking at people as they walk past, just judging people. That's what we did. And we were thinking, I was asking Damien, like, do you think, and police were driving by at some point, I was like, do
They
you
were
think
down there heavy
They were.
last night.
They were.
What happened?
An event.
It's Saturday night in Greek Town.
Oh man.
An event.
But I was thinking, like, should we be afraid of our livelihood just being here? Again, Damien got dreads, so I was like, man, they stereotype people with dreads, because you already know. But I I was like, what do we have to fear beyond in this corner? We're just going through the list of things. And it's so valid. It makes you sort of, it's almost like PTSD. Like when situations happen, it triggers things in your mind. Like, should I be doing this right now? But I'm going to start off with the first thing on the list of what you should not do while being black is, drum roll.
Exist.
Yes.
Oh, for real?
No, I was gonna say driving. Just don't drive, y'all. Make sure you get an Uber, catch a bus, take a train, ride a bike. Don't drive. Simple as that. There's been so many incidents, as we all know, the hundreds of incidents that happen with someone in the car being pulled over, getting killed, yada yada. Just a recurring thing.
We can go around the room doing that.
Let's
though.
do
Come
it.
up with different things.
Who's next?
All right, who's next?
Kenya, what you got other than everything?
Right, because you can't do anything. I would say.
Drum roll, please.
Don't talk to cops. Like, just avoid them in general. Like, don't even have a conversation.
What if one is your cousin or your?
I mean, that's a different kind of circumstance. 9 times out of 10, they probably gonna talk to you first.
Right.
So I would just say avoid conversations with the cops. They never seem to go right. They always go
right.
That's debatable. I don't know. That's
debatable.
Well, I mean, it depends on the cop, though.
It depends on the situation, and yes, it depends on the cop. But
yeah,
I mean,
all of this could depend because I feel like I get away driving.
Yeah, I mean, there's been moments where I got pulled over. I'm like, what did I do? I didn't do anything. I didn't. I may have been speeding a little bit, but
it happened to me in East Point.
What'd you do in East Point? What happened?
Apparently, I ran the red light, but I really didn't run the red light, and a guy police officer came up to my window and said, all right, you got a good driving record? I said, yeah, I got my insurance here. He says, all right, let's keep it that way. He looked at my stuff, gave it back to me, and said, all right, be safe. And he just walked away. I'm like, what was the hassle? I mean,
right? You could have just went about with your day.
If you're gonna do it the whole way. Just give me the ticket. But he's like, all right, I left you out with a warning. Here you go.
You got a good driving record. Oh, we're gonna give you impeding traffic. Like,
the citation.
Something with no points that's not gonna affect your insurance.
I was texting and driving.
Right.
No, I wasn't.
Hey, I count my blessings, but still,
No, it was one time I was definitely in the wrong. I was going probably 25 miles an hour over. And he was like, "Oh, you got a clean record. You good." So he gave me a citation. Got a citation, so it was like $100. But I kind of
got pulled
deserved
over
that
on the Lodge. Everybody thought that was
Wait,
surprising.
what?
I drive 80 on the Lodge, like easily.
No, you mean Northwestern Highway?
No, on the Lodge.
On the Lodge?
On the Lodge.
It's police
like
on the
8
Lodge?
miles. That's what I said.
Oh, my
right?
God.
And I apparently got pulled over for doing everything. I was switching lanes. I was going too fast, and I was tailing.
Oh,
but it
my
was
God.
one of those situations where he was just like, you have a good driving record. Just,
Right.
be safe.
Be safe.
Maybe
On the
slow
Lodge?
down.
I don't get that on the Lodge, though, because I swear no one goes 50 or 55, whatever that is.
Nobody.
But, hey, I guess you got, did you get a ticket?
Look, man.
Anything? No. Okay.
I'm gonna be real. When I really had my license, before I even got insurance, I was driving like I was like an old lady, man. And everybody was like,
Scary.
"Anthony, why you so safe?" I'm like, "I gotta be. If I get pulled over and I ain't got no insurance, what's to say I don't get thrown in the
Well,
clink?"
if you get into a car accident, that can financially devastate you if you don't have insurance.
Yeah, that too. So I had to drive like an old lady, and I still do with insurance.
Yeah. So, Shayna, what's your,
All right.
you got to do the drum roll. What's yours?
You can't leave your minor children unattended.
Oh.
Like, you have to monitor them, if they're outside playing, Tamir Rice. You have to monitor them if they have to walk to school. The recent incident that happened here in Michigan, where the gentleman got lost and he got shot at.
Dang.
Yeah, that did happen. Yeah, I remember that, man. But that guy, did he get sued or did he serve some time? Because I know something happened to him.
He got arrested.
But
Yeah,
it's still pending.
recent.
Yeah,
So
that was the one I was trying to talk about.
Did he post bail?
I
heard that his bill was real low or something.
It was like
that.
$50,000, but it
Right.
was like attempted murder. Like,
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it was. I mean, it was
Like, you can't even ask for directions. You can't knock on somebody's door. Like, hey, I'm lost. Can you give me some directions?
That was crazy.
Renisha McBride.
Right. She got in an
looking
accident.
for help, and she got shot.
Dang.
But he's serving, I think, like, I want to say like 17 to 35 years.
That's good. Damien, your turn.
Yep.
Let's see.
I'm going to say walking.
That's bare bones.
So I'm going.
It's so true though.
I'm gonna share a short story. It's like 1 minute, but I'm gonna tell you who the person I was with at the in the middle of the story. But I had a town hall meeting, and it was addressing like education or something. So I had the meeting, so I had a tie on and my suit, and my friend came with me to the house because the place was like 3 blocks from the house that I had a meeting at. So he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna walk to the I think Coney Island or somewhere." So while we walking, he had a suit on too. We walking, and the tree branches had fell on the sidewalk. So we walked in the street because we couldn't walk through the tree branches.
Right.
As soon as we walked in the street, we didn't pay attention. The police car like zoomed up, turned the lights on, had their guns out, told us to put our hands up. It was like, what? So we put our hands up because, we didn't want to do nothing. So it was like, where you guys going? It's like, going to get something to eat. Where you live? The next block. See your ID. He said he heard some gunshots. Asked us, did we hear anything? I said, nah, we ain't heard no gunshots. He said, oh, okay. So my friend, he said he wanted to see his ID. He said, why you need to see my ID? But anyway, he pulled it out. He's the police commissioner. He didn't know that. So,
Put that card on. I'm like, hey.
yeah, so he kind of started apologizing, saying that, it's protocol. He's like, oh, okay, so you just pulling over everybody that you're seeing out here tonight? And,
Right.
He didn't really have too much to say, so he got his badge number and stuff. But we wasn't dressed like anything. It was 2 Caucasian cops, and I felt unsafe in my neighborhood. I felt like they was a threat to me.
But it was protocol. It was that's the key word, protocol, whatever that means.
Whatever that means. I was just about to ask. Like, what is
Right.
this protocol? Like,
I need to see the books. Where the records at? The receipts. Yeah.
does this follow an event that this happens? Or
Right.
is this every day?
Dang.
So in my neighborhood where I normally feel safe, they made me feel unsafe because I have guns drawn at me.
Yeah.
Talking about gunshots that I didn't hear. I don't know what gunshots they heard. I mean, if it is something we usually hear, but I didn't hear none.
But your block is hot though, man. I remember. I ain't gonna lie. I drove over there that one time, man. It was like, yeah, it was bad. Crackheads everywhere. Nah, it's cool.
Don't put him out there like that, Eric. Don't put him out there like that.
My bad. That's just a side note.
That was that neighborhood party.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Everybody came from.
Oh, it was in that block? Oh, okay. That's different. That wasn't bad.
All right, Anthony.
Anthony.
All right.
Oh, drum roll? Oh, yeah.
Ding. Working. Listen. Let me tell you something. When I work in my first job and sometimes my second job, I'm on the phones a lot, and I do not recognize who that guy is. The guy that's on the phone. It's just it's code switching. I don't even know if I can do it now because I'm in a comfortable environment. But it's just let me see if I can get my white voice. No, I'm just kidding. But it's like, hi, this is Anthony Holding in funding. How may I help you? It's like that's not how I talk, But I gotta have that voice at my job. I can't have my normal dialect because it sounds quote unquote unprofessional. And this goes even deeper as to when, during certain events during last year. Trump's election, Colin Kaepernick kneeling at the flag, you hear certain conversations that irk you among your coworkers who are mostly Caucasian, and you can say something because you want to say something, but if you say something, it becomes awkward. Then you become that one word, difficult, because you don't agree with the masses of why they think, oh, that's disrespectful. Oh, we're really gonna make America great again. Oh, black people are just complaining, and I didn't directly hear that, but you hear that in the tone, and you can't consciously work while being black, or you can't work while being consciously black. I do believe that.
The term is called John Henryism, where it's like where, people of color, black people, you work twice as hard and then you deal with on the job, subtleties, and that causes stress on your body, and it can shorten your life expectancy.
So you gotta, I don't want you to down this, man. So make sure you.
No. So hey, give us some more background about John Henry for the people who's listening.
John Henry, it's like a fable where the gentleman, he was a black gentleman. He competed with a machine to, what is it?
Build the railroad
build a railroad to dig the hole. so that the railroad could go through a mountain, and he beat the machine, but then he had a heart attack. At the end of the story, and he died.
Yeah. All right. I'm depressed now. All right.
Right.
Move.
You want to keep it going?
I got one. Yeah, let's go. Let's keep it
All
going. All right. Going to school. Getting your education. As we know.
Oh, go ahead, man.
As we know, most of us went to Michigan State. Being on campus, it could get a little bit racially
Yes.
insensitive sometimes, depending on where you are. And I think I told y'all the story where I was walking in like West Circle at night, and a group of white kids came and said, "What you doing here? You don't belong in West Circle." like what? Like I don't belong, and I'm paying my tuition. This is my school. I don't belong on that side of campus because I look different. Like so, and that's just one example. And there's many other examples where students are, illegally searched, by police. Things where professors are saying some things that may be taken in a different way, just microaggressions that exist. Yeah, education, I'm telling you, university system is one of those things where it's every day you're dealing with something.
I got something perfect, man. High school. I went to high school. The place is shut down. I went to University High School in Ferndale, Michigan.
Okay.
And I remember on our way to go to the bus, we have to cut through the suburban neighborhoods. And the police were here, and the police were getting concerns from the suburban neighbors saying, okay, these kids are being loud and everything like that. So the police officer actually came up to our school and said, look, when you're walking through suburban neighborhoods, be quiet. And some of us are in there, like back then, I gotta be honest, I don't like using this term. I wasn't as woke. So I was just like, all right, he's telling us to be quiet. Might have been that dude in that class I don't like that was talking so much. Right. But most people were like, well, what, we can't talk? He's like, look, I know what it sounds like, just be quiet. And, some of the teachers were kind of crossing their arms, like, you want to be a little bit more sensitive to them, like,
right.
Like explaining in a different way. I didn't catch it back then, but when I think back on it, yeah, that officer was being an asshole to us.
Yeah, because, think about it, y'all high school kids, y'all can be loud.
Right.
Right, so it's more to it than that. Kenya, I know you got some more. I already know.
All right.
I already know Kenya got some more.
My first one got shot down. I don't even know how to feel. I don't know.
The everything?
Let's think here. Black folks can't. Don't go to the ATM, the credit union in Detroit, because it's only like 3.
Yeah.
And if you go on a weekend, you're going to be in line the whole time. Ain't that crazy, though, how black folks, most of us, deal with banks? If we haven't learned anything financially, we should be pooling our money a little different.
Right. That's true. Dang, I didn't think about that one. Speaking of bank stories, I remember Damien and I, we was at the, where was we at? We were at the ATM in downtown Detroit. This is probably, 3 months ago? Something like that. And Damien was like, man, did you get cash out first or was it me?
I think you did.
I got cash out first. So when you got the cash out, there was this guy, he's standing like, he for some reason came right directly behind Damien. Like, it's etiquette to this. Like, you got to stand at least 10 feet away. Like, my man came up literally right behind him. I was like, man, we about to get, man. You want to fight? You got to fight, Damien. Like,
I'm ready. I was like,
space is necessary.
No, he had his hood on. I'm like, man, hands in his pocket.
Yeah, I thought he was about to get me. Yeah.
That's a set it off moment.
Right, I was like, Damien, man, good luck. I see you. I'm headed home.
Looks like we have our own prejudice of our people.
See, that ties into what I'm gonna say.
Right.
Let's go.
Who else? Shayna.
Oh, to piggyback off of the banking thing, black people can't get access to capital that's not predatory.
Yeah. That's true.
Payday loans.
That's true.
The subprime mortgages
you can't
that
even,
disproportionately affected black people.
You can't even get a business loan nowadays. Like, you got it.
Wow.
It's bad out here. And my one thing, too, is that we're trying to push entrepreneurship in our communities, but you can't even get a loan. That's sad.
We should push for entrepreneurship, but we should also push for, like I said, on the last podcast, for black politics because they go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and financial literacy. You got to
Financial literacy, like this, that all works together.
Yeah.
Like I don't hear a lot of people, they want to groom their children to, like I'm gonna teach my baby about checking and savings, and stocks and bonds, of course. I'm gonna teach my baby that, hey, you got to have several streams of revenue. Okay,
Right.
yeah, that's fine, but I never hear anybody say I'm grooming my baby to be a politician.
Damien, that's
You're
what
a
they
politician.
do. Right? I'm trying. I'm about to run.
Well, that's the baby's choice, though. I mean, like, there's something about parenthood. The baby's gonna be what the baby's gonna be. It's gonna grow up to be a man or woman that does what they want to do.
Not every black.
It's just about supplying the basis for childhood, though, so that your
Right.
child can dream. The issue is most of us are growing up, and then we become adults,
Yeah.
and you're fending for yourself.
Right.
You don't have any economic basis. You don't have anything that's built into you. But you look at our, the opposite, or
Right.
whoever else is in the world. They groom to where you don't have those financial barriers. You're not dealing with coming home from college. You going home and having to pay rent. You probably got somewhere to stay. So that's money
Yeah.
in your pocket from work. Your people probably got you a car. That's more
Right.
money in your pocket, right? You probably got some type of savings somewhere stacked up against you, or something that you're invested in. That's different. It looks different for us. When we come back home, we fiending for ourselves.
Right.
You
Right.
got to provide all of that, and then on top of that, still be trying to save and want to be an entrepreneur and do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Can't dream when you focused on the basics.
Yeah,
Can't
they do a
dream
lot
while
of
being
hit
black.
pieces on
Can't dream
like they
while
do a lot of hit pieces and negative pieces on millennials, but they always leave out the context of the policies that affect the high student loan debt, the poverty of millennials.
Yeah. I mean, I think one thing too, we look at financial capital, but we got to look at the social capital, our networks in the community. We got to look at sort of how we're sort of building our kids that platform where they can reach out to a banker in the community, or reach out to a lawyer who, looks like them, who can give them advice, that can support. We just don't have that, especially looking at kids in Detroit, they don't have a network of people who are lawyers or doctors or engineers they can just refer to. So we got to build that up as well. And that starts with the schools. It starts in the house.
It starts in the home.
It starts in the home.
Shout out to Marquise.
Shout out to Marquise Herring. It starts in the home. And we need to bring him back on for another show, man, I swear.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I've been missing him, man. He's cool.
Damien, your turn. This is gonna be another round.
Being state police on Belle Isle.
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
Explain this. I don't.
Oh well, the graduating class. Oh, the graduating class of the state police. Once they had changed the requirements on the island, the numbers of state police. I think the first class didn't have any, so they improved it, but the numbers are still remarkably low for African Americans being a part of the state police. So that's something that's important.
Yeah, that's true. It's all about representation. You gotta, especially if you're policing the community that you're in, you gotta reflect that.
Yeah, and like, what's that? The city clerk, Janice Winfrey.
Mhm.
Yeah, she felt like she was being harassed when she was on the island.
Oh shoot.
They didn't know she was at the time, but she addressed it on the news.
Hey, and that made change happen,
Well, a little.
huh? Right, it ain't changed that much. All right, Ant.
All right. Things you can't do while being black. Going to the movies.
Oh.
Listen. Now this is the prejudice that Kenya alluded to. That I don't have self-hate. I love my people. But while we were watching Traffic, it was me, my girl, my boy, and his girl. We just we chilling, we enjoying the movie. We're yelling at appropriate times when shit goes down in the movie. But there's these two older women in front of us, two older black women, and all you hear is, "Bitch, go in the house." Bitch, what are you doing?
I love the commentary.
Like it's like this whole body get shot, and and I'm just sitting there and like nigga, like just like that to myself, and I'm like, yo, bro, who brought the rats in the kitchen? And I know that's a harsh statement. I know
That's
it
harsh.
is, but I was like, bro, you go to these places like MJR and like Sterling Heights, and you think you wouldn't like quote unquote run into that.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason I don't go to the theater on 8 Mile anymore. The former Phoenix.
Oh yeah.
That's a good theater.
Not always, man. Not always. But I mean, it's just like, and no, it's not self-hate. I love my own people, but it's like you don't want to hear that in the movies, though.
Yeah, I think it's a mix of societal norms and who those norms are built around. But I think,
I enjoy the commentary.
I don't mind. I mean,
I do.
it depends. It depends. Like, I don't mind it, but if people, I remember I was at one place, somebody had their cell phone light shining throughout the whole movie. Yes. I'm like, that's a little too much. But if it's something like, somebody saying something commentary, I don't know, it doesn't bug me that much. But I can see where you come from with that. For sure.
Listen, man, I'm a cinephile, man. I soak up every moment in the theater, so maybe that's just me, but it really irks me.
Yeah, and I can see, because you paying attention to all of it.
Yeah.
When I went to see Thor, it was a man back there with his 2 kids, and like their commentary had me, like the movie was already funny, but their commentary had me cracking up. Like I don't know, I like it.
But they weren't saying anything disrespectful. They weren't saying anything that was like derogatory or like offensive.
No, and I believe one of them had already watched it on the Fire Stick.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Yeah, it's such and such. It's Doctor Strange, like."
You just ruined it for everybody.
But I enjoyed this commentary.
So do you think that it made it more weird that the older ladies was sitting there? Because I cringe too when I hear disrespectful stuff around elders.
Yes.
Versus if it's just me and my homies, so maybe if they wasn't there, it wouldn't have felt that bad.
I mean, regardless of age, I still would have felt like, nigga, shut up. Like, I still would have been saying that in my head, like, whether they were old or not. But it's just, overall, it was like, come on, man, we still doing this in 2018? Right. That's just me.
I kind of want to shift gears a little bit. This is a question I was trying to answer in my head all week. Do protests, like the social protests we have with Starbucks, those really do anything?
No.
I mean,
yeah. Somebody help me out with this. It was going through my head. And I
do civil rights training every year. It's a requirement.
That's such a thing?
that's such a thing.
It's just, I feel like it's useless. Like you already have your beliefs, so I don't think you can train that out of people.
So, but Starbucks does have an obligation, though, to do something. I mean, I personally just feel like we just shouldn't be shopping with Starbucks. I mean, that's just me, though. I don't spend my money in certain places because I just don't expect much. But it's like
expensive.
It's more so people that love Starbucks.
They are doing.
I always wonder what their perspective on everything is.
Right. You got a gift card, but once it's gone, it's on. I'm with y'all.
Just like with H&M, like after this H&M discount is over.
Well, they are doing something. They are. I think they were shutting down a day to do racial training.
It's afternoon. So they'll be open in the morning, but it's just the afternoon.
I don't know. I just feel like this stuff is so. It's PR. That's it. Like they're doing it just to show the image that they're supposedly fixing or correcting the problem. But like you said, diversity training. I actually went to diversity training this past week, and it was on like perspectives and images of different races, ethnicities, and all that. It doesn't mean it's fine. It's nice talking about it, but once you leave, you don't remember anything that you talked about. So there's really no point of even going. But is that really effective? Like, is that going to boycott and not spending money there? Yes, it's going to take its toll. But first off, I don't think a lot of black people drink Starbucks anyway.
There aren't any in the city. There aren't in gentrified areas.
Right.
Like it's no Starbucks on the east side.
So their main clientele isn't us anyway. So it's not going to hurt them.
Black people do it. They just.
I just think it falls on deaf ears at this point. I mean, but has there any?
No, it's a voice. Don't ever say that. It's a voice.
I will say
it may not ring loud, but it's a voice.
The H&M protest, I think it did work because I've stopped shopping there and I don't really miss it.
I wasn't even aware of it, man. I
wasn't aware of the H&M.
I mean, like I looked at it like a Forever 21 store. Like I looked at it like that's not for me. I never knew like what actually went down there. I looked at it like, oh, that's just one of those stores that I would never go into unless my girlfriend dragged me in.
They have some quality men's stuff. Well, when I used to go there, it had some quality men's stuff.
I wouldn't know.
And especially because I'm like, being a sort of smaller guy, I need stuff to sort of fit a little bit better. I noticed that, but and it fit better than other stuff. So I kind of miss it, but I don't mind anymore. I think that protest and seeing what they did and seeing the response to it, I'm like, all right, this is a cause I get behind. I can do that. I mean, has there been any other protests you think were effective within like the past 5-10 years on stores and corporations?
Oh, we can even look at universities, though. I mean, with the black cloud rolling over MSU, I don't know if y'all really know, but I was in protest at MSU during, like, was that 2011, 12 school year?
I think I was around that time. They did the Black Power rallies and all of that. I mean, they were still doing that. Was a tradition, but yeah.
But they was doing like the silent protests and stuff, and so I don't know if y'all know, but they had demands. So we all like made all of these demands that happened, and through that, one of them was demanding that the African Studies department will become a department. For a long time, it was just the academic
Shout
office.
out to Dr. Dag Bovey.
Oh, yeah.
Hello. I paid a lot of attention in that class. But,
Amen.
but beyond that, right now with this dark cloud going over MSU, it's really like a thing that AAAS might become a department. But the question is, has students not been demanding that? Would they even care about that? So I think protest matters, but protest has to be strategic. And people, I think that a lot of our protests that we see, even looking at the Starbucks or H&M, a lot of it's reactionary now. Yeah. And so through reactionary protests, you don't get the, the longevity of seeing your things come to life.
And to piggyback off of that, I feel like any protests or demands that aren't related to labor or like hiring, because like the H&M thing, if there was a black person in the advertising room, that wouldn't have happened.
Exactly.
If there was a black manager at that, the Philadelphia store, that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
So I think it all goes back to labor.
Okay. All right, nice. So wrapping up, final thoughts.
Oh, there's a lot of stuff we can do.
Yeah, we haven't covered everything, but go ahead.
I just think that we have to be, and it's unfortunate we have to be sort of hyper vigilant, just to exist. You sort of have to just look over your shoulder sometimes and think about the what ifs. And that's not, that shouldn't be the case. That's not right. I shouldn't have to fear if I ride my bike in a Royal Oak at night, somebody gonna think I'm breaking into cars or something, breaking into houses. And so we got to change. It's going to be hard to change the culture, but we got to sort of, do something to make people aware of what we facing. So that's my final thoughts. What about y'all?
Yeah, real quiet.
It's tough. This is a tough topic.
I just think we just, like I said, we like whenever it comes to like, if we're going to be reactionary, we got to bring it back. We got to bring it back to labor. We got to make sure there's more black people, more black men, because in 2016, 1 in 5 black men did not work. So we got to make sure it's more black people in the room when these decisions are being made. And it's not that we're not educated. It's not that we don't have the experience. It's just that we haven't been given a chance. So.
And even being in a room, actually speaking your mind. Like, it be black people in a lot of these rooms, honestly, these days. But we scared. It's like we scared to be unapologetically black. Like, I'm going to say my piece. That's stupid. And we should be able to stand firm in that and not feel some type of way because we are the minority in a lot of those spaces.
I will say, though, to counter your point, a lot of times the direct overseers, the direct managers, they don't look like you. So people fear, like, if I say something and speak out, am I going to lose my job? I'm going to get fired? Things that such.
Shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
It shouldn't. It shouldn't, but...
Well, I was going to say, I guess I'm speaking more from a creative side. I want to see more creative projects that are black-owned. Like, I look at shows like Dear White People in Atlanta, and, these projects are written by black writers, but they're written by talented, creative black writers. Like, they're looking at things from a different perspective, and, I'm always coming back each next week. We need more things like that. We need, like, I hear more production studios are have an inclusive writer. Yeah. Like, I think Michael B. Jordan brought it to light. Just to be more inclusive with every film production, you know what I mean? And I think that's nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say that I think just family values. Family values is something that we lost, and we don't push it. And as you see in the last few years, we had a lot of TV shows to look at to be stronger. Like Family Matters. It was a family, a daddy, a mama. It was Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Cosby Show.
I don't know, Bill.
And then as well, but as time changed, you start seeing two boys and a man. You start seeing what's another Living Single, and the whole TV shows changed. So the stuff that was going into people's heads.
Wait, Living Single was actually good. That's a good series, man. Don't talk bad about that, man.
I mean, it was good, But how they was doing like Family Ties and stuff, it was years of family shows, and the family shows was broken up. So I think stronger families make stronger people.
Yeah.
Nice.
I like that.
All right.
But thank you all. This has been a great episode. Please like and share.
Please
We're on
like and share,
SoundCloud.
subscribe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, SoundCloud,
iTunes.
iTunes. Yep. It has been another great episode, and we will see you all next week.
All right. Look, man, Bill may have done wrong, but he cliff saved a lot of lives.
He
man.
saved a lot of lives, but I don't mean him.